my channel. My name is Rose Writes, and I write and narrate Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction. The art in my thumbnail is by Dory Sketches. She is such an amazing artist, and her Instagram will be linked below. Please enjoy Catnapped. Cat, where are we going? We've been hopping roof to roof for a while. Ladybug squealed as the air brushed her ears, making it difficult to hear anything. Not only have they been traveling by way of his baton, she had been blindfolded as well, going who knows where. Cat Noir said he had something special planned, and he wasn't joking. Ladybug would be lying if she said she wasn't at least a little anxious. I know, he laughed. That's the point. I wanted something you couldn't see coming. I can't see anything coming, she said, waving her hand in front of her blindfold. Are we there yet? Not yet. Be patient. You know I don't know how to do that, kitty, she joked. After a few more painstakingly long seconds, Ladybug felt the gust of the air subside and heard the pitter-patter of Cat Noir's heavy leather boots on a wood floor. He gingerly sat Ladybug down on her feet, helping steady herself. She had been airborne for several minutes, but it felt way longer, so she was quite disoriented. When Cat Noir removed her blindfold, Ladybug flapped her eyes a few times, seeing spots and taking in her surroundings. This is the top of the Dupeng Bakery. Yeah. Cat. She took in every little thing, every minute detail. Do you like it? She peered around, and rose petals were scattered on the floor, and the same kinds of roses and vines were intertwined along the railing. Tea-light candles were spaced out around the rail, which added a glimmer of shine to this dimly lit summer night. 2 beautifully wrapped boxes sat strategically placed on the floor, surrounding a romantic candlelit dinner. Like it? I'm just wondering. Her voice trailed off as she completed her full circle around her familiar balcony. How did I do all this, or how did I know your secret identity? Cat Noir answered carefully, intertwining his fingers with hers. Ladybug's eyes widened, her hands flying to her face. She turned from him, unable to meet his striking neon gaze. His eyes glowed under the night sky, but she couldn't bear his stare at this moment. You know, she somehow managed to squeak out, but couldn't say anything more. He hesitated for a moment before saying, Yes, I do, but I love you. More than ever. I loved you before I knew, and I love you now. Cat gently turned her around, placing his hands on her shoulders. She begrudgingly met his eyes, and he sighed. It was a week ago. We had just finished patrol and you zipped off, but I forgot to tell you something, and before I reached you, you stopped on this roof and de-transformed. Oh, and then Alia decorated the balcony while I kept you busy. Cat Noir flashed her a mischievous grin. Her face turned beet red, flooding with heat. No, it's true. Alia was such a huge help. You'll have to tell her thank you the next time you... No, silly cat, Ladybug said, giving him an incredulous look. I mean, my secret identity. I've been so careful. I didn't mean to... What does this mean? Words tumbled out of her mouth, her eyes brimming with tears. Cat Noir immediately comforted her, cupping her face with both of his hands. Marinette, I love you, okay? I love you, I do. His cheeks blushed a subtle shade of pink. He wiped a stray tear that fell onto her mask. Please don't cry. I'm so happy you're Ladybug. So happy. He rested his head against her forehead, her breathing steadying. Really? She lifted her head to look at him. Of course. Cat placed a kiss on her lips, lingering. His hands wrapped around her waist, pulling her in tightly. When she pulled back, a large smile spread across her face, her dark blue eyes matching the sky. Well, this isn't fair. He chuckled. What's not fair, m'lady? Ladybug crossed her arms, a fake pout lining her face. You know who I am, but I have no idea who you are. Sure you do. I'm the man of your dreams. Okay, Cat. She rolled her eyes at his attempt to be cheeky. But you know what I mean. He sighed, placing his back against the elegantly decorated railing. I know. Well, you're in luck, Bugaboo. You do know me. Ladybug's eyes nearly popped out of her head as she whipped around. What? I do? What? Her mind raced, thinking of all of the different possibilities. Who could her boyfriend be, and what if it was someone she never expected? Would that change anything? No, of course not. She loved Cat Noir. More than anything, but this suspense and anxiety was killing her. Yeah, but first, I have something for you. He stepped over near the table, grabbing a large, beautifully wrapped box that had a silky ribbon on top that looked like it could have been one of her lucky charms. Ladybug followed him curiously. For me? She asked hesitantly. Yes? It's your birthday, remember? Her eyes widened again. How could she have forgotten her 16th birthday? Right. Cat Noir continued holding the black box out towards her, but she simply stared at it. Well? Huh? The box won't open itself, Bugaboo. He teased, placing it in her hands. Oh, right. She giggled. She timidly loosened the ribbon until it fell gently by the box's side. She peered in the box and there was a heap of black fabric, and she took it out, holding it up. Cat, this is so cute! Thank you, I love it! Against her, she held a black hoodie with a cat hood with lime green embellishments on it, complete with bells hanging from the drawstrings of the hood. I'm glad. Put it on. And she did so happily. Wow, you look stunning, Marinette. His tanned, handsome cheeks turned a shade of pink as he admired her appearance. It felt strange hearing Cat Noir call her by her civilian identity. Maybe this was the new normal. It felt almost surreal. She couldn't help but blush herself. You really think so? He nodded in affirmation, and she giggled. Now you just need a ladybug one to match. We'd be so cute. Well, since you mention it, he said, sweeping the other large box into his hands. No way! Check this out! Unlike Ladybug, he savagely opened the package, not saving the ribbon, and throwing the lid of the polka-dotted box to the side. In a flourish, he threw on a red and black garment and turned to Ladybug, beaming with pride. See? Now we're twins. Well, kind of. You know what I mean. Being a ladybug suits you, Mr. Bug. She teased, then kissed his cheek. You missed. He winked at her, and her heart skipped a beat as it so often did around him. He leaned in, a hand around her waist, and kissed her. He slowly pulled away, but lightly pressed his forehead to hers. Happy birthday, Marinette. You have completely catnapped my heart. She rolled her eyes at the bad pun, but it was still sweet. Thank you so much. This has been the best birthday ever. She looked down at her spotted hands in contemplation for a moment, but meeting his gaze again. Can Can I ask you one more thing? Anything, Bugaboo. You know my secret identity. Could you possibly tell me who you are? I totally understand if you don't want to, though. It's supposed to be a secret. I know that, but I guess I just figured, since you know that the cat's out of the bag, maybe... Her voice trailed away into nothing as she spoke anxiously. Of course. I love you, Marinette. I don't think this will change anything, he said confidently, and Ladybug felt at ease even though her heart rate still skyrocketed. Cat Noir interlaced both of his hands with hers. Then he took a deep breath before he whispered, Plag, claws in. The green light surrounded them, lighting up the dim sky. Ladybug struggled not to look away as the bright light covered her boyfriend entirely. The black leather-suited superhero faded away, leaving a blonde boy with somehow the same but different emerald eyes staring back at her, wearing a shy smile. Her eyes widened, as did her smile. Instead of saying anything, she lunged into him, wrapping her arms around his neck, kissing him. The butterflies she always felt intensified. Adrien! It was Adrien! It has always been Adrien. This made so much sense, and she loved him more than she ever thought possible. Maybe I should have revealed my identity sooner, Adrien joked. Ladybug shook her head, still embracing him. No, this was perfect. Speaking of perfect, m'lady, you're perfect. She took her cat hood down, fully noticing how gorgeous he looked in the moonlight. The wind blew subtly, moving his golden hair, his gentle smile warming every fiber of her being. Now, it's my turn, I think. If you'd like. He kissed her cheek, and that was the final piece of encouragement she needed. She took a deep breath and then breathed a sigh of relief as she whispered, Tiki, spots off. The pink glittery transformation lit up her balcony surrounding both of them. Her ladybug suit slowly melted away, and there she stood as Marinette. His eyes welled up the tiniest bit as he embraced her tightly. Adrien and Marinette, Cat Noir and Ladybug. Two pieces of a puzzle that fit together immaculately. Adrien, she said, pondering, then giggled. What is it? I never expected you, honestly, but I'm so glad it's you. What were you expecting? He moved her hair out of her face the slightest bit to look better into her beautiful eyes. She thought for a second. I'm not sure, but Adrien, I'm in love with you. You've catnapped my heart. She giggled as she quoted him. Wow, a cat pun? You must really love me, he teased. Just kiss me, she said, leaning into him. Adrien and Marinette stayed on her balcony late into the night talking, celebrating Marinette's birthday, and simply being together as themselves, which was the best gift Marinette could have received. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing. It truly helps me out so much. Also, leave a comment. If you don't know what to comment, leave a ladybug emoji. And as always, stay miraculous.